Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy. I'm Morgan, and today I am going to be talking about easy meditation for busy witches. So apparently when you tell people on social media that you set a timer for 9 minutes each day and just like openly meditate, it's highly intriguing and people want to know more. So I have received messages about it. I've had people in the coven ask me about meditating. I love it. I love it. So meditation is a very huge part of my spiritual practice, but not only that, my mental health practice. Just having those 9 minutes a day to connect to the present moment reminds me to connect to the present moment throughout the entire day. Okay. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about meditation, but more specifically, easy meditation for busy witches or neurospicy witches. That's what I like to say, neurospicy. Got it from Megan Winkler, so I can't even take credit for it. But neurospicy or neurodivergent witches. So if you find it hard to meditate, then this is the episode for you. But even if you just want to deepen your meditation practice or you want to hear my tips and tricks on it, then that's what today's episode is going to be. Okay. So first things first, most of the info for today's podcast episode does come from the meditation and visualization lesson that is in the Ink Spirit Coven. So if you are a coven member, you will want to go to April 2024, which was, I think it was the beginning of our Rewilding Your Inner Witch last year. There is a lesson on meditation and visualization, and then there is a guided visualization workshop there for you. If you are not a coven member, I highly recommend that you become one because there's 4.5 years of archives and all kinds of stuff in there. And it's just a really amazing community. But anyway, this podcast episode pulls info from there, but not all of it. So I'm going to be pulling some information, but the whole course or whatever is in the Ink Spirit Coven. Okay. All right. So let's dive in. Meditation and visualization are very similar. I do want to make the distinction here at the beginning that this podcast episode will be about meditation, but a lot of the tips or whatever can also be used for visualization. So the difference between the two is in meditation, you are entering a deep state and maybe you're following a little bit of like a prompt or something or guided meditation, but you're allowing things to come to you, like information, images, messages, things like that in meditation. Whereas in visualization, you are controlling it. Okay. So visualization is what you want to do. If you're creating an intention and you're trying to add energy to it and send it out into the world, that's more visualization. Okay. So for the purpose of this podcast, we're talking about meditation, and meditation is the act of bringing awareness to the present moment without judgment. Okay. Now I'm going to talk to you all right now. I'm going to lay it very straight about the frustrations that people have with meditation. Are most of them, from what I have been told and when people ask me about meditating, they all stem from the same misconception. Okay. Frustrations with meditation almost exclusively lie in the common misconception that meditation is about completely emptying your mind of all thoughts. Okay. This is a misconception about meditation. Now, if you've been meditating for years or you are attempting to do like Tibetan Buddhism type of meditation, then yes, the goal is to clear your mind of all thoughts, empty your mind, and just sit in the present moment. Okay. But for a daily meditation practice or a more modern meditation practice, This is just not the case, okay? So while this is a goal of advanced meditation practitioners, it takes time and so much practice to achieve this, okay? Emptying your mind in this day and age is nearly impossible if you, especially for those beginning in meditation, okay? So what happens is people go into meditation thinking that they're supposed to have this clear mind and no thoughts are supposed to enter it. And that's the goal of meditation. And then when that doesn't happen, they get very frustrated with themselves and they just quit meditating. They're like, I can't do this. Okay. So the first thing is throw that out the door. Okay. That is a misconception about meditation as far as especially beginner meditation, intermediate meditation, unless you are trying to meditate like a Buddhist monk, okay? Which they do like for hours, okay? That is another common misconception. You can meditate for 3 minutes. You can meditate for 5 minutes, okay? Hold on, let me flip my page. All right. Meditation for common folk, for busy witches, for the majority of us, okay, involves observing thoughts as they rise and then letting them pass without becoming attached to them. That's the key, okay? Shit is going to pop into your head. Shit is going to pop up for you. It could be your to-do list. It could be like, oh my God, does my knee hurt right now? And then you're like, shit, now I'm focusing on my knee. God damn it, now I'm focusing on how I'm focusing on my knee. This is all normal. This is all natural, especially when you are beginning meditating, okay? The key is to not attach to that thought and to let it pass. So you're getting adjusted, you're dropping down into meditation, and you're like, man, my knee hurts. You just let it go. You don't attach to it and then go, oh shit, now I'm thinking about my knee, and now my stomach's growling, and now I'm hungry. What was the last thing I ate? You have to just have the thought, acknowledge it, and let it go. And it's the easiest way to do that is something that I was taught. I can't remember anymore. I think it was in my meditation class for my bachelor's degree, but I don't remember. It's just become a part of who I am now. So I don't know where I learned it. I could have learned it from somebody else, like another YouTube video or something, or class. I don't remember anymore. Anyway, the best way that I have found to do this is basically, if you're in this meditative state and you have this thought pop into your head, does everyone remember the caterpillar, the hookah smoking caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, like the Disney version? Okay, if that's the easy, because that's the one I picture. So when this thought pops into your head, so you're sitting there and you're like, man, my knee hurts. This thought pops into your head. Turn it into hookah smoke, whether it is the words, if you can visualize the words, or just the thought, like a picture of your knee or whatever. Turn it into smoke and let it float on by you. And I do remember giving this tip to the members of the Ink Spirit Coven during the meditation lesson, and it blew their mind because it is truly transformational. And like I said, I cannot even remember. I'd probably have to go back to that lesson and rewatch the video to see, because I'm sure I explain it there. And I'm 99% sure it came from my meditation class for my bachelor's degree. But that is the caterpillar hookah smoke technique is the easiest way. Like, so as soon as if you can just visualize, like your eyes are closed and you're meditating and you're like, oh, my stomach's growling. Like you just have that thought. You're like, oh, stomach's growling, turn it into smoke and let it float on by you. And that's how you don't attach yourself. You don't grab onto it, is you're visually, or you're having your brain just let it float by. And that's exactly what you want to do in meditation. Okay. So that is like the first tip. I'm going to have way more tips throughout this entire podcast episode for you. And that's why I think the whole episode is like easy meditation for busy witches. Okay. Because I'm just going to be giving you ways to simplify meditation. Okay. So believe it or not, there are multiple types of meditation. And sitting still in a position and clearing your mind is just one of them. Okay. And that is actually another, and I'm sure I think I cover it somewhere. Yes, I wrote my notes, but then I had lunch and I had to do other things, so I've already forgotten them. Um, if anyone tells you you have to sit completely still during meditation, that is also false. I move around a lot during meditation. Um, if the goal is, you have to set a goal with meditation. Like, are you doing this for stress relief? Are you doing this to calm your mind? Are you doing this to center yourself and ground your energy down into the earth? Are you doing this to connect with your deities? So, what is your goal with meditating? Okay. For me, it's all of the above. I use meditation for mental health issues. I use meditation for reconnecting with my higher self, for connecting with my guides and my deities, for divination sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, I need to figure out the answer to this, or like I need to know an answer to this question or which direction to go or whatever, and so I'll just go into meditation and I'll open myself to the answer. Um, but for me, because I use meditation in so many different ways or for so many different aspects of my life, the whole sitting up with your spine completely straight and your feet, I can't even get my feet into that weird position that it's not crisscross applesauce, but like you start to go in crisscross applesauce and then you pop your feet up onto your thighs. My hips don't do that. Okay. So I can't even do that. But that whole thing, and then in movies or whatever, everybody, so these, when you connect your fingers together, like your thumb and your first finger, second finger, third finger, whatever, those are mudras. I don't know any mudras, and so you shouldn't do them if you don't know them. That is a completely different practice. Okay. um but anyway, that whole thing of like sitting up perfectly straight with your feet in that weird position and your fingers, like your thumb touching your middle finger or your thumb touching your first finger and then going, that's not meditation. Okay. It is meditation, but it's not meditation. Okay. If this is what you want to do and this is how you meditate, by all means do it. But if this is why you're not meditating because you're like, I can't sit in that position, or I don't even know what the finger thing is, just let it go. Okay. That is not it does not have to be part of meditation. Okay. So I move. I know I completely went off tangent on that one. I move so much during meditation, and I just want to let you all know that. In fact, sometimes I go into meditation and, I feel that stiffness in my neck. So I'll roll my neck around, I feel that my hips are tense. So I'll put my feet out or my hips out even more and then put the two soles of my feet together. I will stretch arms, legs. I do all kinds of stuff in meditation. Okay. So it all depends on what your goals are. If your goal is to sit perfectly still and calm everything, your mind, your body, your soul, all of it, and bring it into alignment, then you don't want to move around, So you basically, to start your meditation practice, figure out why you're meditating. Like, what is your end goal? Okay. So I'm going to go over 3 different types of meditations. There are so many more. There are so many more in the lesson as well. But these are the 3 most common types. Like when people think about meditation, this is what they're thinking about. Okay. The first one is called mindfulness meditation. And this is where you're going to bring your attention to the present moment, observe thoughts, sensations, and emotions without judgment. This is a beautiful way to get in touch with yourself. Okay. So you focus on your breath. That's the easiest way to do mindfulness meditation. You focus on your breath, you relax everything, and then you just see what pops up. And that's but you need to see how, like, the different things that can pop up, which is why you don't want to attach to one thing. So you're sitting in mindfulness meditation and it pops up, my knee hurts. Okay, so adjust your knee, move on. The next thing that pops up, shit, I forgot to take out food for dinner. Okay, when you're done, now you can take out food for dinner. Next. And I tune into where my body touches a surface. So whether that's my feet, my butt, sometimes I slouch. You guys, sometimes I need to truly open my sacral chakra, my lower chakras. So I'll be laid out on the bed, like leaned back and just completely slouching. Sometimes I meditate with a perfect, a straight spine. It just all depends on the energy of that day and what I'm trying to do with meditation that day. Okay. So this is exactly what I do when I set my timer for 9 minutes every morning. Okay. I am first connecting with myself, and then I'm like, all right, what do I need for today? Do I need to just let my mind wander? And on my to-do list, you guys, my 9 minutes in the morning, I've figured out themes for our box. I've figured out podcast episode titles or themes. I have figured out problems where, like, if we had a problem and I was like, oh, I'll think about this later, bam, solution comes to me. I've connected with my deities. So when you just open yourself up, anything can drop in. Okay. So on a side note, oh, there we go. On a side note, don't let anyone tell you that you have to sit still during meditation. There's where I wrote it down. So look, we already covered that. Now I can go to the next one. Okay, so this is when yes, mindfulness meditation is generally what I'm doing when I set my timer for 9 minutes every morning. Okay. The second one is called concentration meditation. And this is where you focus your mind on a single point. Okay. So this is where you're saying a mantra over and over and over in your head. Okay. You're keeping your focus on that mantra or an image. I've actually meditated with tarot cards before where you take the tarot card. I happen to have a deck here. You take the tarot card and you soft focus your vision on it, like you're trying to do a magic eye or you're trying to see someone's aura, and then you basically go like into the tarot card to explore it and its meaning more. It's actually really cool. Or a candle flame. So if you're a little pyro like I am, put a candle flame. Or if you have never tried it before, light a candle, sit in front of it, and just gaze in the fire flame. And that is meditation, okay? As your mind wanders, just bring it back to that focal point, okay? So if it's the candle flame and you're like, oh, my knee hurts, then bring your focus back, like, okay, candle flame, candle flame, candle flame. Or the mantra, whatever your mantra is, like, I am strong and powerful. I am, whatever it is, okay? If you're starting out, and this is true for mindfulness meditation as well, set a timer for 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever you think you can handle, especially if you're starting out, okay? And you can set a timer for the mindfulness meditation or the concentration meditation, both of them. Set a timer. Start off at 3 minutes. Get through 3 minutes a couple of times. If you can't even get through 3 minutes the first time you do it, don't beat yourself up about it. Meditation is a practice. Okay, it is a skill. You have to train yourself to do it. Okay. The third one is a guided meditation. Okay, these are my favorite. These take you on little journeys. So basically, a great guided meditation will start you out. They'll help you breathe to relax yourself and ground your energy. And then they take you on a journey. And I love them. I highly recommend. Oh, no, if you struggle with meditating, try guided meditations, okay? Because these give your brain something to focus on, So if you have that wandering mind, then listening to a guided meditation gives your brain something to do, gives your mind a focal point, okay? And if you don't see anything, don't worry about that either. That was another thing that I believe came up in the workshop on Ink Spirit Coven. I'm actually not sure because we've done guided meditations before. So I feel like it may have just come up in another guided meditation workshop that we've done. There were Coven members who said, like, I don't see anything when I go on guided meditation journeys, but I feel things. Like, there you go. Not everyone sees with their mind's eye, okay, their third eye. Some people feel with their mind's eye. Some people, feeling and sensing is almost two different things, I think, sometimes. Some people will get images, but not be taken so literally on the journey. So like when you're walking through the woods, they're not walking through the woods, but they see woods, All of this completely normal. So don't get frustrated if you're trying to do a meditation, like a guided meditation, and you're not seeing the ocean in front of you, but you all of a sudden have the sensations like you have at the ocean. Then like how the ocean makes you feel, and then you feel that way. You just may not be, it may be that your mind's eye doesn't form pictures, your mind's eye forms emotions, your mind's eye forms sensations. Okay. I highly recommend the Honest Guys on YouTube. I love them, the Honest Guys. They're British, but I said but, there should not have been a but there. They're British, and their guided meditations are fucking phenomenal. They have so many of them too. You got to weed through a lot of the sleep stories. I don't usually have a problem going to sleep. So I've never tried their sleep stories before. If anyone has, you'll have to let me know if they're good. But their guided meditations, you can find them for, oh my gosh, my favorite guided meditation of theirs is the one, it's about 28, 30 minutes long, something like that. It's with shamanic drumming. And so it is a journey to kind of like an underworld, but you'll see. So they also have the shamanic drumming just with music, like for like hours, but you'll see the guided meditation with it. It's beautiful. It always takes me to different places. I love it. But then there's another one to meet your spirit guide. The picture is like two loungers on a beach. It's like 12 minutes long, maybe 15 minutes long. I love that one for just meeting with one of my guides or my deities very quickly. If I have like something I need to talk to them about. There's one for letting go where you're like holding balloons. I love that one. Oh my gosh. There's also another one about soaring high. Anyway, I highly recommend them. As you can tell, I have done their meditations so long that I know about how long they are. They even have 5-minute stress relief ones. They have ones that have you travel to like Lord of the Rings places or hobbits. Like it's great. I love them. So Honest Guys on YouTube. If you're an Ink Spirit member, we have a ton in the bonus section of the lesson archives. You'll see bonus PDFs and MP3s. I'm still adding to it. Like I'm pulling the ones out of lessons to put there. But that's where all of mine, any time that I've done guided meditations for like 31 days of Samhain or for the YouTube channel or something, I've put the MP3 there for you. Okay. And just so that I can geek out just a little bit, I love my guided meditations because I get super nerdy with them. And like, you always, well, I can't say you always because I think I didn't start it until a couple in. But generally speaking, I take you down a stairwell and then you open this big wooden door. And then when you open up the big wooden door, your journey starts from like that point forward, and it's different from that point forward. But like when the door opens, I put a little creaking sound in there, like a door opening. And then when you're like walking through the woods, I make sure that I have the footsteps of people walking through woods, whereas when you're walking through a field, those footsteps sound different. I go super nerdy, you guys, super nerdy when I'm making my guided meditations, because for me, the more the sound effects fit, the more vivid the mental image is for me. So I love adding all those little things. And I change the music, like there's different music when you're walking. And then like if you get to a house and you open up the door there's different music. Anyway, I just want to geek out a little bit because I love my sound effects. And you would think like it takes me hours to, once I have recorded a podcast and edited it for sound and then edited it for length. So like made sure that the long pauses are at least 10 to 30 seconds. The short pauses are 5 seconds. Like once I've edited all of that and I get to go in and add my sound effects to my music, I'm there for hours. Usually I do it on the weekend. So my husband's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "I'm making a guided meditation." He's like, "Well, I can play video games all day." And he's probably right. So anyway, I'm going to go back to, that's just a side note, me geeking out over myself. All right. So there are way more types as far as mindfulness meditation, concentration meditation, and guided meditations. There's way more types of meditations. Those are usually the three common. Okay. Flipping my notebook again. All right. So here are my quick tips for easier meditation. And there are 6, but they're super quick. Okay. Number 1, get comfortable, but not so comfortable that you fall asleep. There is a fine line. Also, when you are figuring out your meditation journey, you will figure out times a day when you can no longer meditate. For me, it is after 5 p.m. I cannot meditate after 5 p.m. I will fall asleep 100% of the time. So this is why I set a timer for 9 minutes in the morning. And if I do need to do any guided meditations, for example, I want to honor one of my deities, or I want to meet with one of my deities, or it's a Sabbath associated with the deity or something. I will generally do my stuff in the morning, because I have found that if I wait and do it at night in like a night ritual, I will fall asleep during meditation 100% of the time. So yeah. You don't need to be free. Oh, you do need to be free of distractions. So you need to tell family to leave you alone for 5 to 10 minutes, or go meditate in the bathroom with the door locked. Been there, done that when I had smaller kids. And I'm talking like my husband was in the house, you know. But yeah, I've been there, done that. So do just, like, hey, I'm going to get 5-10 minutes to myself, please, just no distractions, that kind of thing. Number 2, I recommend closing your eyes. It does minimize distractions around you, unless, of course, you're performing a candle flame meditation or an image meditation. Okay. I think it minimizes distractions, because like my cats there's always a cat that joins me during meditation. Generally speaking, it's Crowley. But like if I see him walking in, it distracts me, So like I see him walking in, I'm like, oh, here comes Crowley. He's going to curl up in my lap. Da, da, da. But if I'm in meditation and he just jumps on the bed and curls up in my lap, it's less of a distraction than visually seeing him. Number 3, use earbuds. Yes, just period. But use earbuds especially for guided meditations. Okay. Not like using earbuds puts the sound right here. You tune out everything else around you. The most immediate thing that you hear is the guided meditation. Okay. So this is why I highly recommend using earbuds or headphones when you meditate, period. Okay. And if it's a guided meditation, that's good. Or find a calming sound that will block out external distractions. Okay. So for me, I use babbling brook, or a fountain. I really love the trickling water sound. Okay. Some people use oceans. Some people just use white noise. Try also pink noise. I like that one. Brown noise is also a good one. It's very grounding. And if you're like, what the hell, just Google it on YouTube. Okay. It's just different frequencies of like that static sound. Okay. But any of these actually helps focus your attention and drown out the external influences. But use them as earbuds. And once you start getting into meditating and you realize what works for you and what doesn't work for you, like if I'm doing guided meditations, 100% of the time I have earbuds in. My 9 minutes in the morning, I will just put on a sound. Sometimes it's the shamanic drumming from the Honest Guys too. And I just put my phone in front of me on the bed. And sometimes I turn it up, sometimes I turn it down. It just all depends on what I'm trying to do. Because sometimes I am doing the mindfulness meditation where I'm trying to tune into myself and my surroundings. So sometimes the noise almost blocks me from doing that because it focuses me too much. So it all just depends on what your goal is and what feels right. Okay. Number 4, focus on your breath. I recommend breathing into your belly. So you put a hand on your belly, hand on your chest, and try to move when you inhale, try to move the hand on your belly and keep the one on your chest stable. That means your deep belly breathing is going to ground you faster. It's going to ground you more. And it's going to help you reach a meditative state faster. and deeper. Okay. And then ground down however you want to do that. Ground and protect yourself, whether you visualize a bubble or you visualize roots coming down or you visualize just you connected into the earth or whatever, but make sure you ground down into the earth and protect yourself. Number 5, don't judge. Don't judge, okay? If you set a timer for 3 minutes and you could only focus for 27 seconds, that's 27 seconds more than you could yesterday, okay? Don't judge the shit that comes up either. If it's your to-do list, if it's, oh my God, I forgot to do this. Oh my God, shit happens. Don't judge whatever comes up. Just remember Alice in Wonderland, the caterpillar, the hookah, remember all that, okay? And then number 6, practice regularly. It is a skill. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, I promise, okay? I've been meditating for 25 years. I can achieve a deep state within my 9 minutes in the morning if I want to. Some days it's still super hard for me to focus. And I write down all my meditations too. So it's super hard for me to focus. I will literally be like, hard to focus. Like that's the start of what I wrote down. And then I can just write down little glimpses. Some days I get a full 9-minute meditation out of it. But just because I've been doing this for so long, I can reach a deep state of meditation very quickly. Within a few breaths, I can be in it. Okay. Because it is a skill. It is practice. All right. So that's what I have for you all today. I'm going to plug the Ink Spirit Coven again because it is such an amazing group of eclectic witches. We are on Circle now, which is a community platform. The archives are on there. Our chat is on there. They're so much more talkative than they were, like the members, than we were on Facebook. Seriously, everyone is chatting so much more, bringing stuff up. It really, truly is an amazing community. And there's guided meditations, there's lessons, there's all kinds of stuff. And I do teach a live lesson and a workshop every month. We have a sacred space every month on Zoom. So it's just amazing. It's where I hang out. So you can head to inkedspirit.com to learn more and join. We are doing prosperity magic in the month of June. That's going to be a really fun topic. And then for the Patreon bonus content, I'm going to actually share my daily meditation practice. So my exact one. I'm going to share step by step with you all what I do every single day, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of them. Okay. So the Patreon bonus content comes with the smallest tier of my paid Patreon. So it's just $5 a month. We'll get you the bonus content and shout outs. Oh, actually, no, I did not have any. I was like, I forgot to pull it up again, and now I'm going to have to talk through it. No, I did not have any new paid members this week, just because the recording schedule for this week is a little bit shifty. Normally, you would get a shout out on my Patreon. And then you get bonus content for every single episode. So usually it's just more content. Sometimes I think it's been guided meditations in the past. But you can head to patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations to do that, to sign up there. I want to thank you all for being here, for giving me a platform to be my crazy self, to share my knowledge. And yeah, I hope that this episode was super helpful for you all. You have to let me know in the comments if you watched this on YouTube, what you thought, what your takeaways were. If you listen to it like on Spotify, please like, share, comment, because it helps other magically curious people find the podcast. It helps them send the podcast out to other people. But you'll have to let me, I think you can comment on Spotify, or I post on social media on Instagram every day. And so you can comment on the reels there. So thank you all for being here, and I will see you all next week. Bye. If you're looking for a magical community where you can just be yourself, check out my Ink Spirit Coven. The Coven is an online learning circle for eclectic witches who want to learn new witchcraft practices and how to easily incorporate magic into their daily lives, all while being supported on their personal spiritual journey. And you'll have me as your magical mentor, sharing my knowledge, answering questions, and facilitating the online community. Head to inkspirit.com to learn more and join. And if unique witchcraft supplies made by witches for witches is just what you need, head to my store, inkgoddesscreations.com, to see what we have to enhance your magical practice. We also have the Ink Goddess Creations box, a monthly subscription of magic mail filled with exclusive items that fit a magical theme. Head to the site to see this month's theme and sneak peeks.